If you're wondering why this video took so long to come out, considering Stranger Things 5 came out like almost a full month ago now, it's because I had to watch the season 2 times because I couldn't really nail down my feelings on how I felt about it overall. But I'd say now I have a pretty good understanding of everything that happens, everything that I feel about it. So I felt like now was a good time to go through and rank all 5 seasons of Stranger Things. And Stranger Things is one of my favorite shows of all time. I do not think that there is a bad season of the show. I love all 5 seasons, even the one I rank at the bottom. If someone was like, hey, do you want to watch this middle season? I'm not going to be like, no. I'm going to be like, why that season specifically? But I'm not going to say no. I'm going to say yes, because they're all good. But I have to rank them somehow. So it's not a worst to best. It's a best to better. That doesn't make any sense. Let's just get into the ranking. Coming in at number 5, I said there is not a season I dislike. That is true, but that doesn't mean my last place wasn't the easiest position on this entire list. And that is going to be Stranger Things Season 2. Now, I like Stranger Things Season 2. Like I said, someone asks me, hey, you want to watch Stranger Things Season 2? I'm going to ask why not the first season, but sure. I love this season. It has some great characters introduced. You get Max, you get Bob, you get Billy. For some reason, everyone loves Billy. I think it's because he's hot, because he's not a good character. Sorry, I get that's a hot take, but, like, Billy is a very horrible person. I get it, he's attractive, but, like, that doesn't make up for anything. You also get Steve and Dustin and their friendship in this season. This is the first season where we get that. This is the first season where we get, like, nice, kind Steve, besides the, the one he was in season 1. You get some very good character moments in here. You get Nancy and Jonathan getting together. You get Bob's very heroic death. And that is like, this is definitely the turning point in the season. Like, we haven't really seen any, like, characters we care about or we're supposed to care about die. Like, the best we had was Barb from the first season, and she died in, like, the first 2 episodes, so we didn't really get to know her. But Bob, we had this entire season where we got to know him, we got to learn to like this character, and then he dies at the end of the season, and this is, like, the first time you really realize that there are stakes to the show, that these main characters can potentially die. Even though, like, he's not a main character, they can still hit us where it hurts. Otherwise, like I said, definitely the worst one. It just feels the most like, hey, look at our show. It's super cool, right? It kind of felt like Jurassic World, where they're like, see, Owen Grady is such a badass, instead of just showing us. And this one's like, see, we have this amazing show with great characters, instead of just showing us that. But it is an amazing show with great characters, so it's still enjoyable. I would have preferred if it wasn't just, hey, Will's in danger again with a new monster. I didn't love that, but I thought it was funny. Thought the characters were good. Thought it was a good season overall, but by far number 5. See, now I'm really glad I rewatched season 5 a second time, because before the second time I watched it, I would have put it at number 3, but it is now at number 4. Not to say I don't like it. I still, like I said, I love this season. I love all the seasons, but this one definitely has some flaws, and we'll go through that right now. We'll start off with with Chapter 1. Perfect, flawless, love it. Chapter 2. Like, it wasn't bad, but it was for sure the weakest part of the season. Maybe even the show, like, overall. That stretch of, is it 4 episodes, the middle chapter? I don't remember. But that stretch was the worst part of the show for me, as far as I'm concerned. Wasn't bad, it just felt like it went nowhere. Like, it is all about trying to get Holly to escape the Upside Down. But she does. And then she doesn't. And then she... Like, it doesn't go anywhere. It's like, yeah, Holly escaped. Okay, good. and then she gets sucked right back in. So all of that progress we made is just like, it's killed. Like, the progress is done. Like, you're just reset back to zero. I don't get that, because, you know, like I said, she gets sucked right back in, and then I like some of the new characters we get, some of the kids. Derek has his moments. I don't really love the Vecna redesign. I would have preferred if they stayed more with the Vecna we know from season 4. But this season did make me love Robin again, because I wasn't the biggest fan of her in season 4, but now I get what they were going for in season 4, and I like her a lot more now. So I'd say she's probably up there in my top 10. Love her in this one. I love Will in this one. This is probably my favorite season of Will, because he feels like a main character, because he was barely in the first 2 seasons, and he was like side characters in 3 and 4. And he feels like one of the main characters in this season. I really like a lot of the stuff that he gets to do in here, giving him powers. I didn't really know if that was going to be good. I was like, don't know if I'm going to love that, but it ended up working out pretty well. And now we have the finale, the most controversial episode of the show, except for that one in season 2 with Carly. Or Callie? See, that's the problem. I don't even remember her name. That's the most controversial episode of the show. Speaking of Callie, she's horrible in this season. Like, horrendous. Ruins so much of the second half. Like, even her reveal where it's like, oh, Vecna's in there, because they say, I can tell that my power is in there. I'm like, well, we know Vecna isn't in there because he's Mr. What's-It. Another thing, why does it treat the Mr. What's-It reveal like, oh my god, it's Vecna? I would have never guessed. What? No shit, it's Vecna. I have something in my teeth. That's nice. No shit, it's Vecna. I knew from the second she said she was talking to an imaginary friend that it was Vecna. But it takes 3 episodes for them to reveal that it's Vecna. Obviously, it's Vecna. Like, it just, that was so stupid to me. Now we get into the finale. I liked it. I liked the second half a lot, where it kind of wraps up the show. You know, it gives you the characters a year after. I will admit the, like, final fight was a bit underwhelming. The Mind Flayer got taken down in, like, 3 seconds, which, yeah, I agree on that one. But I don't agree on people who say the Vecna fight should have lasted longer. You guys need to understand, Vecna lost to Eleven twice. And now Eleven is back with another person of her same power level. They're gonna mop the floor with him, and they do. It was just kind of, I wasn't there to see Vecna finally get killed, because I knew that was gonna happen. I was there to see how they were gonna wrap up the show, and how do they wrap up the show? Pretty damn good. So, I liked this season. There was a lot of things I didn't like. There was a lot of things I loved. Overall, pretty good season, but it's going to come in at number 4. Coming in at number 3 is going to be, coincidentally, Season 3. If you'd asked me right after I finished this season, I would have maybe told you it was my favorite. But sitting with it and having rewatched it a couple of times now, it is not the best season of the show. It's not. It's probably the most iconic with a lot of the stuff. It feels the most 80s, which I like. I like that it has, like, that bright pop 80s style. I like that, and I love Steve, and I love Robin, and I love Dustin, and this is my favorite Nancy, who has become my favorite character of the show, and this is, I think, where she shines the most. Jonathan's pretty good in this season. I love the characters in Season 3, and I love the aesthetic, but that, oh my god, the Russian subplot is horrid. I take back what I said about the middle half of Season 5 being my worst part of the show. The Russian subplot in this season is genuinely horrendous. Like, the worst part of the show by far. The only part that I would say I genuinely hate. The only thing that salvages it is that we get to see Steve, Robin, and Dustin in it. Because they're good. Like I said, I love them. They're good characters. But the Russians are idiotic. They are moronic in this season, and we get this stupid side villain, Grigori. He's so boring. He's just like the freaking Terminator, basically. I hate him. Yeah, the Russian stuff in this season really, really drags it down. Otherwise, I think this season felt the most like, I don't want to say like kiddie, because there's still like some pretty scary moments, but it felt the most like for kids. It felt almost like they knew that kids were watching the first two seasons and were maybe a little bit too scared by it, so they dialed it back a little. It just feels the most kiddie, and there isn't really that many scary moments. You get a couple with the mind flare and the people getting possessed, but otherwise, I don't know why I felt like this one was the most kiddie. I've heard people say that this is like the turning point when it got really scary, but for me, it really didn't. Coming in at number 2, this is where it gets tough because I love both of these seasons a lot. And I'm gonna have to go. I'll explain when we get to my number 1, but my number 2 is going to be season 1. Now, fantastic. One of my favorite seasons of TV ever. Like, if I was just doing my top 10 seasons of television, this one might crack the top 10. That's how much I love it. But, like I said, I'll explain when I get to my top one why it's so high. This is a fantastic season. It's a fantastic way to open the show, introduce these characters, make you love them. The main kids are fantastic. You get 11, such a good concept for a character. You get some pretty good villains in this first season, even if some of them do end up dying. The Demogorgon's iconic. You get Joyce, who I think is the standout character in this season. You get Nancy, who's great. You get Jonathan, who's great. You get all these different characters introduced and fleshed out so perfectly. I really, really like this season. Like, there's nothing I can say about this season that you don't already know. The soundtrack's great. The emotional beats hit. The character moments are fantastic. All the characters are super likable, except for Steve, who becomes likable by the end. It's just such a good season. Like, it's perfect. I would say it's perfect. It just comes down to which of the two perfect seasons do I prefer. And for me, my number 1 season of Stranger Things as of right now, I'm sure it'll change around in a couple of years when I rewatch the show, but it is season 4. Now, don't know if you can tell, but I really like horror movies. And season 4 felt the most like a horror movie to me. It felt the scariest, the most like it's serious that the show has gotten. And that's like I love season 3 for what it is. I love season 1 for what it is. Like they all have their own style, their own vibe, their own aesthetic. But this is what I prefer. I prefer a little bit of scary, still get a lot of humor, still get a lot of 80s vibes, still get a very banger soundtrack. And we get some fantastic characters again. We get Argyle, who is hilarious and should have came back in season 5. We also get Eddie, of course, who is a fantastic character. He's hilarious. He's great in everything. I love this season for everything. Like I said, it is perfect. Ew, not perfect. Not perfect. Here's the one thing that I did not like about season 4. It's the Russians. Again, it's the Russians. I don't like the Russian subplot. I never like it. It's always bad. And especially in this one, you set up at the end of season 3 that Hopper potentially died. And that could have been a major death and a gut-wrenching way to end season 3. But instead, in the first trailer of season 4, they're like, yeah, no, he's alive. Maybe let us figure that out ourselves? Hot take here. But otherwise, with the Russians, you get Yuri and Enzo. I hate Yuri, and Enzo is just a very okay character. I don't like either of them, honestly. I could do without the entire Russian subplot, but I get you need to get Hopper back. Otherwise, I love the California setting. I think that is a much needed change, because, you know, all of it has taken place in Hawkins up to this point, and you just get to go outside a little bit, and I really like seeing that. I love all the California outfits. All of those look great. Obviously, I wasn't around for the 80s, but I have a few, I feel like that's pretty accurate. I love this season. I love everything about it except for some of the Russian stuff. And it is my favorite season because this is the season that got me into the show. I have the most nostalgia for it. I was not, when the first 2 seasons came out, I was not, like, I never watched them. I watched the first episode of season 1, and I was like, okay, all right. It didn't really hook me until I gave it a second try, and then it worked the second time, and then I watched all the way to season 4. So I had seen like half of season 3 when it came out, so I have the most nostalgia for season 4 by far, and that is what gave it the edge over the first season. Is that I have more fond memories watching it. I have a lot more nostalgia for like the internet when this season was coming out. Everyone was posting TikToks with the songs. And the songs, I have like all of them on my playlist. I got Time After Time, California Dreamin', like Running Up That Hill, the most iconic Stranger Things song. And I think all of the characters are fantastic in this one. So it is going to be my #1 season of Stranger Things. And that is going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe so I know I see more videos like it in the future. And yes, my horror movie collection video is still coming out. Just give me a minute. It takes a while to edit that. Like, I have over 500 movies. It's going to take a while for me to edit me going through all of them. So, the video is in production. I have filmed it all, and I am editing it, okay? So, this one is probably going to come out before that one does, because this one's going to take a lot less time to edit. And then, yes, I am still doing my ranking of every film that I saw this year, but that one is going to take a while, and I haven't even begun on it. I have actually started writing the script, but I haven't begun filming it yet, so that one might be a February stay tuned. But until next time, I'm EthanHorror. This has been EthanHorror. See ya.